everybody. I hope you can hear me. Getting nice and comfortable, and welcome to the chat room. We're going to have an amazing discussion today. I hope you can all hear me. If you can hear me, somebody send me a message saying you can hear me. I'm loud and clear, because I'm not sure. You know what it's like when you talk on these things. You're never sure if people can hear you. So somebody wave to me, send me a message saying, hey, Mr. Mahogany, we can hear you. Whatever it is. If someone can hear me. Hey, hello. So I assume Susan, you can hear me. Susan Coast. Welcome, we can hear you. Thank you so much. Anyway, today's topic is going to be really interesting. You can see I'm very casual. This is the chat room. So we're just going to be talking everything fashion. Because Fashion Finance Africa, we have our blog, we have Fashion Finance Africa, the Epic Show, the awards, and all of these sort of stuff that's going on. And we just want to make sure that fashion is just great in terms of everything that we do. We're going to have an amazing guest come online very soon. The one and the only Style Infidel. The multi-award winning Style Infidel. One day I'm hoping that I will have enough money to be able to pay him to style me. I will get there one day. You know how it is. Me, I only have small change, so that's why I want to talk to him about that. With my small little change that I have, how can yes, me, my small change, how can you dress me like a superstar? That's what I'm going to be asking him. Dress me like a superstar. So I'm hoping that very soon that will happen, that when I drop my small change, I'll end up looking like a Maya Takpo, or in fact, I think maybe more for me, a Denzel Washington. Hey, Style Infidel is coming on board. Let's grab him. So, just while he's coming on board, yeah, I want to tell you what the chat room is all about. Hey, look at you. Oga Adebao, hey, the Style Infidel. The Style Infidel. Guys, get it right, multi-award winning. Tosin, just give me 2 minutes. I'm coming back to you. Stay there, keep laughing. That's what we want. We want some infectious laughter in these difficult times of COVID-19. And they want to kill my spirit in this COVID-19. Are they okay? But let me tell you something. The chat room is a weekly interactive talk show, brought to you by Fashion Finance Africa. We're the leading platform in Africa, yes, when it comes to fashion. And I, Shola Ebadi, a.k.a. Mr. Mahogany. So in the way some people say my name, Mahogany, But, Fashion Finance is a platform that celebrates new and emerging fashion designers and creatives. From our epic show to our awards, and very soon our blog. Yes, watch out for it. Tosin, they do blog, our blog that will be out very soon. We're all about celebrating fashionpreneurs, not entrepreneurs, or fashionpreneurs and fashionistas from all over the world. Okay, that's what we're about. So be watching out for it. All right. So the show is going to focus on everything fashion, beauty, entertainment. We're bringing on top fashionistas like the Style Infidel, celebrities, superstars from across Africa. Yes, this is an African show, guys. It's not just about Nigeria. It's not just about England. It's not just about the USA. It's an African show. Already I've started seeing people from London on board, seeing from Kenya. So there's people from all over that are coming onto this show, yeah? So we're going to talk to you, get an insight into what life is like for them. Yeah, I've always wanted to know what it's like for something like the Style Infidel. So what it's like for him. So, please start sending in your questions. If you've got any comments, please be dropping them throughout the show. We'll start to try and answer them as we're going along. But let me now start the show well. Hello. Tosin.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Tosin. Please let me introduce you first, because I have to introduce so that people know who you are. Tosin Ogundadegbe. Please say it to me.
Yes, sir.
I know I said it very badly, sir. Popularly known as The Style Infidel is our guest tonight. Multi-award winning stylist. Yes. What can I say about Tosin? Hmm. Tosin and I come from way back. Oh, believe it. We are from back in the days. Yes. And he's super talented at whatever he does. From curating at the GT Bank Fashion Weekend to all the celebrity he styles and the designers he works with. Anything he does is spectacular. I'm sure any of you that have been to GT Bank and you've seen those window displays and you've never known who did it. This is the man. Oh, this is the man. He also is a. Can you believe it? This man is also a writer. He's a writer. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the chat room the one and only Tosin, the Style Infidel. Tosin, say
Thank you
hi.
so much for having me, Oko. I am super excited to be here. Super, super, super excited to be here. I'm sharing the same space with you. Thank you so much.
It is our pleasure. In fact, we should be thank you for you sparing some small time
Oko,
to come and see
I
us.
love your
So
new
let's
beard
get
too.
You love my what?
I love your
My
beard.
Oh boy, please, oh, this thing is coming off. I look like one old papa wearing it. I beg, please. Don't come and spoil my PR here. So,
Okay.
okay. I know this is COVID-19 beard to tell you how bad COVID-19 is. Once COVID-19 finishes, it's off. See, someone says it here. Apex Clothing. I agree. Tosin is very gifted. We know, very gifted. So let's get down to some business. Okay? Let's
Okay,
talk.
sir.
People want to hear from you, not from me. So,
Okay, sir.
Tosin, during this lockdown period, what has it been like for you? What have you been doing? How have you been coping?
Okay. In recent conversations with a couple of friends and a couple of people I always like to talk to, for creatives generally, I say this is a retirement rehearsal and we're not ready for it. It is a retirement rehearsal where we hope when this is over, we can all take care of our finances and be more vested in things we invest in. We need to start investing a lot. I've also been doing a lot of reading. I'm currently reading Arese Ugu's Smart Money Woman. I'm also diving deeper into books written by Robert Fair for Alexander McQueen and John Galliano. I'm doing a lot of reading as well, just to improve myself and also learn more about fashion and where the designer's headspace was as at the time the book was written and all of that. And I've also been sleeping because I hardly sleep.
You've had time to sleep, Tosin. Hey.
Oh, finally.
Thank God, oh. You've had time to sleep. Guys, this guy never sleeps. He works on a 26-hour-a-day clock.
Oh, that's the life of a hustler living in Lagos. So basically, I've been doing a whole lot of that and also trying to diversify. I've been teaching as well. I have a couple of students. I teach the business of fashion and styling. And I mean, it's been very engaging and knowing fully well that they're all learning and I'm also learning from them. It's been very, very engaging. So I think after this, or even before the end of this pandemic, I hope creatives in general will understand that they will understand the need to diversify. You have to, at this point, you have to diversify.
Right. That is
so
it.
That's what I've been up to.
You see, Tosin. He does not keep his fingers in one pie. His fingers are in multiple pies. So, as a fashionpreneur, which is what you are, as you can see with the many different things that you do, you don't just have one thing. So, as a fashionpreneur and a fashionista to boot at the same time,
yes, sir.
What is your take on this pandemic, and what effects do you feel it's going to have on the fashion industry?
I mean, like I said earlier, it's a very sad situation where this whole thing has literally shut down business for a lot of us. It has shut down business has put business on hold for a lot of us. I'm still doing a bit of consulting online. Like I said earlier, I'm also teaching online, which is actually bringing in revenue. And it's not been fun. It's not been good. it's mentally exhausting. It's mentally exhausting to see full able-bodied men who can't work, who can't go out. You're literally in solitary confinement, which is also in the best interest of the world. And it's been, I mean, in the long run, it's an eye-opener. It's an eye-opener to all of us, to let us realize that at the end of the day, we need, like, the finance part is so important. The business part is so important. It transcends more than being famous or being popular or being a socialite and all of that. We need to take care of our finances. We need to tidy up that part of our lives. It is very, very crucial that we tidy up that part of our lives. Like I said earlier in this conversation, that it is a retirement rehearsal. The pandemic will go, God willing. It will face off. Amen. What happens after then? I hope we can all have learned. I hope we won't have just left our time away, and we have taken our time to learn and really go through the impact of this. But in the long run, I know we'll go through it.
Okay, so I mean, I get what you're saying. A lot of people are saying that as well, that we've got to handle the situation. This is not the new normal. You know, one of the things that crossed my mind very recently was this. We've been at home for 5 weeks. I'm just referring to the fashion industry. There's been many industries that's been affected, but we've been home for 5 weeks. In that 5 weeks, yes, all I've worn is shorts. I've not worn shoe. I've not dressed up. I've not done anything. I just did a quick survey, and I spoke to my other friends like that, and I said, some of the women were saying they've not worn shoe for 5 weeks. So that must mean that these are people that normally they're out. There's Owambe, there's wedding, there's an award ceremony, there's something at work to go for. So they were continuously buying clothes. What kind of effect do you think that this is having on the fashion industry?
Okay, so right now, from the little research I've been doing and the readings I've been doing, a lot of things are going to change. A lot of things are going to change. The buying system is totally going to change. I was telling a friend yesterday that designers who design comfort clothing are the ones that are going to cash out during this period. Because now everybody understands that you can work from home. And what do you need to work from home? You need comfort clothes, shorts, t-shirt, joggers, tank tops. Nobody's really bothered about looking fancy. Everybody just wants to survive.
That's right. I think Wyre and Magigi actually mentioned that exact same point to me yesterday when we were talking about this. Here you are saying
it's the truth, Uncle. It's the comfort clothes designers that at the end of the day will cash out from this phase. And I even realize now that even luxury designers are now tapping into creating face masks.
I was about to ask you about that.
Luxury, because there's obviously going to be money in it. There's a ready-to-wear designer that I currently know. He's producing face masks for a particular brand of filling station. All their brands, like all their branches in Lagos.
See how people are taking advantage of the situation, making money.
Exactly. No one will really be bothered about luxury, because even after this is over, everyone is trying to still protect themselves. And the rate at which you spend money on clothes and all of that will drastically reduce. In London, for instance, let's take the fashion scene, for instance. In London, for instance, they're going to be having virtual shows. They're going to be having virtual shows. And this, in a way, would affect the financial system of how money gets into the chain of experts in the industry. That means at some point you might say you don't need real models. You can actually use virtual models. You can get rid of makeup and just do some things using your computer and all of that. And it totally just messes up everything. And then even with the fashion shows, it would get to a point where it is the people that are meant to be there. It's not just going to be for everybody.
So does that mean that somebody like you and I, are we going to be out of work? Are you saying models are going to be out of work? Is that what you're saying?
Well, if we're not careful, let's be very factual with ourselves. If we're not careful, it will get to that point. And this is where I tell models that you need to also diversify. You need to put yourself out there. You need to make people see that you're more you're more than a model. We have models who are influencers. They would never run out of work. They will never run out of work. And even if the
Okay,
show
nice
still
one.
decide,
So Dwad Creations says, how do you diversify into a business environment you are not familiar with?
oh, you have to be familiar with whatever you're going into, else you'll crash. Else you'll crash. You
Really?
have to be familiar and you have to understand that space and how it works. I can't say I'm moving into tech because I'm completely clueless.
I'm with you.
I can't say I'm moving into tech. I can't say I'm moving into food. The only space you can diversify is within, unless you're willing to take the guts to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to learn this, I'm going to get familiar with it, and I'm going to run with it. If you're within, I mean, fashion is so broad. You have curators, you have stylists, you have designers, you have fashion merchandisers, you have trend forecasters, you have makeup artists, you have hairstylists. You have show producers like yourself, Oku. There are so many things you can do, but you need to really master that space.
Right. But okay, we're as a kind of spin-off from what they asked. How do you, like, you and I, we're having to adapt. I mean, I'm speaking with my team every day. We're thinking of new ways that we can adapt to the new normal. But how easy is it to adapt, and how quickly can you adapt? Because there isn't that much time. They say we go back to work maybe on Monday, but the truth of the matter is, for those of us in the fashion industry, that's not going to happen, and it's still going to be restricted going back to work. And don't be surprised, guys, if we have another lockdown. So how do you acquire new skills? How do you move into things, especially if you need money? Some new jobs or new businesses require money. How would you suggest they do that sort of thing?
Okay. It brings me to two things I said previously. One, that hopefully when this is over, we can really tidy up our finances. And two, for instance, the masterclass I'm running with my students, all I just needed to do was create a group on WhatsApp. And then we do our classes every Sunday. And then I give them assignments. And that's not costing me anything, maybe just internet. And these are people that had reached out to me earlier before the lockdown, like way before the lockdown, that they wanted to intern with me. They wanted to learn more about styling and all of that. And I thought, okay, rather than sit at home and not work, knowing fully well that I love to work, I love to do what I'm doing. I said, look, you know what, let me create a WhatsApp group. And I take my students every Sunday. They ask me questions. We really go deeply into fashion and the business of it, so that they don't make the mistakes I've made. I'm very open with them and I make them understand that it's a business at the end of the day. It needs to get to a point where you're beginning to turn passion to profit. So back to the question, Uncle. If you find out that you need, I mean, at the moment, everybody has gone virtual. So you just really need to think deeper on how you can offer a service without necessarily being there in person.
But isn't the virtual space a temporary thing? Isn't it like a fad? What I mean by that is that as soon as we get out of this pandemic, we get back to how it was in the old days. Nobody has time to get on the internet anymore. We're hustling, we're running around Lagos, we're stuck in traffic, we're going from one meeting to another meeting.
Uncle, life, yeah, this pandemic has changed our lives forever. It almost feels like a different face entirely. It feels like a different face entirely. Now, people don't have to do, and you have to come for a physical meeting. Unless, for instance, as a stylist now, I'm probably going to have to check out the garments. Because a lot of times you can't understand the life of a garment until you see it physically. You can't experience a garment until you see it physically. There's Zoom, there's FaceTiming, there's WhatsApp video.
But you can't feel the material.
That's what I'm saying.
How it hangs on a body.
That's what I'm saying. That there are times that unless you're going to do that type of physical meeting where you have to experience the clothes and touch the clothes and see the life of the garment, all your meetings can be done online. This thing has practically changed a whole lot. People now see the need. People now see the reason that I don't really need to have everybody in the same space. We all can just Zoom and do our video. Everybody gets their job done and they're done for the rest of the day. So we'll get to that point. And as regards to fashion shows, like I said, it will get to a point where it will be the people that are supposed to be there, the buyers, the press, the editors, maybe a few of the designer's family, and maybe a few of the designer's friends. It's not just going to be for everybody. Everybody would have access to now watching it online.
So
But
shows
in
will be
terms of, because
smaller,
of
more
social
compact.
distancing,
That's what you're saying.
we won't have that packed. We won't have those type of packed shows again, because this, like I said, has changed everybody's life. Everybody's very careful. Show producers, show organizers are very careful. It will call for the need for the key people that are supposed to be in the industry to be at fashion shows. And a lot of designers will opt for fashion presentations, curate their own fashion presentations, which in a way you can't do without the models, you can't do without the stylists, you can't do without the makeup artists. But at the same time too, you're looking for how to maintain social distancing. You're looking for how to maintain social distancing and all of that.
Right.
So if you can't do the big shows, you can curate your own mini presentation and throw everything online. There are a lot of online experts now, or a lot of content curators who would help you do a fantastic job just using their phones. So that's why I said, as terrible as this pandemic is, it has opened a new face of business for content curators. A new face of
You're
business.
right. I mean,
completely.
Recently, Vogue did an article, and in the article they mentioned that Fashion Week in September is most likely going to be completely virtual. I think for the first time ever, YSL has pulled out of being on schedule, and they're going to go off schedule and do their own shows. And one of the funny things about that, or that's going to be interesting that we need to bear in mind, is that YSL actually stated that it gives them the freedom to do shows when they want to do it, to regurgitate old collections and mix them in with new ones, or just do new ones, that they don't have to do a collection which is specified for February or specified for September. So they said it's going to give them more room to maneuver. And this has all arisen out of the pandemic, COVID-19. So guys that are listening to us here, you need to rethink your business. There's some great opportunities that are available for you now, and take them on board. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Tosin. If you had asked me 3 months ago to come and do an Insta live and be talking about fashion and all that, I thought, boy, are you okay? I don't have the time. Please leave me. What's my own with Instagram and live and all these people? I don't want to do it. But now I've realized that I've still got to impart knowledge. I still got to do different things. We're looking at our fashion blog. We've got a new fashion editor. Wiry, that sort of thing. So we're restructuring. My gig is here. She's harassing me every day. Mr. Scholes, we're doing this. Mr. Scholes, we're doing that. I said, please, can't find people. All this language you're speaking, me, I don't understand, though. Please. But I'm having to learn quickly, and it's the same thing for everybody else. So, Tosin, let's get to the. You see how they scratch my head? Let's get to the main crux of this talk. Yeah?
Yes.
People like me, my change that's inside my pocket is small. But me, I have big head, big heart. So what I mean by that is that when I see the Style Infidel, I see the Maya Tafo, I see the Denzel Washington, these people that have money, mad money. I see, if I were a woman, I see a Larry de Silva, I see a Genevieve. Do you understand? I see a J-Lo, a Beyonce. Me, I want to dress like them. But my money, my chicken change money, does not allow me to go and buy Versace, a Valentino. Do you understand? A Louis Vuitton. My money does not allow. My own is butter. That's the one that allows me to buy. So how can I, with my small change, using either somebody like you or the little tricks of the trade, dress like a celebrity or look like a superstar with the small money I have?
Okay, so I think Uncle, that's a very good question for this time, because we are, like you said, I saw a quote online that said, "My clothes actually think I'm dead."
Try.
Because I'm not wearing them. They haven't experienced a long time. My clothes
Why,
probably
did
think
you
I'm
know
dead.
that quote?
at this point, it is very, very important that you invest in clothes that you need, in clothes that are versatile, in clothes that you can restyle. As much as everybody wants to be fancy and look absolutely good, it is very important. And you'll find out that when you invest in things like t-shirts, a black jacket, a pair of denim, a pair of this and a pair of that, putting them and mixing it. I mean, I can wear the same shirt and twist it upside down. Maybe today I'm wearing it normally, tomorrow I'm wearing it to the back. It is mostly about innovation at the end of the day. Right now, like I said, the pandemic has changed our lives and it has changed our priorities. Priorities are changing. If you have the need, I was telling a wedding designer like yesterday, I said the brides will come, but I doubt if anybody would want to get bridesmaids and put them through all of that expenses again.
That's right.
Because like I said,
That's
priorities
right.
are changing. Nobody wants to be on 10 brides on 10 trains and knowing that you can't wear those garments again. There is no time for that. So you can always invest with your little change. Invest in garments that you can wear that it's not just quantity, but quality at the same time. Meaning, if I buy this t-shirt, I know a year or a year and a half, it still looks good on me, and I can rework it in any way I can. It is very necessary. You invest in it. You put your money on investment pieces. For ladies, black pumps, a good black bag, a black jacket. Invest in camisoles. Invest in good denims, good t-shirts. Just invest in like
we're having a little bit of
blouses.
Tosin, is you there? Okay.
It's just very important at this point. Nobody really has that money to throw around saying they're spending money on. Yes, of course, you have the people who still can afford the luxury of spending money on Versace, on Yves Saint Laurent, on Celine, and the likes of it. But practically, for the person who is frugal with what he makes, investment pieces are always the best because you can restyle them, you can rework them, and you can just keep enjoying wearing them.
So Hamdallah O says that. So are we talking sustainable fashion? Is that what you're referring to, or is there a new word for this type of styling?
It's so well. I mean, for a long time with me, it's always been about sustainable fashion. It's always been about sustainable fashion. It's always been about, as much as my style is very avant-garde, if I break down the pieces, you find out that I actually put together separates. So I can wear a jacket in one way today, and next week it's a normal jacket.
I have to be honest. That is what Tosin is good at. I remember Tosin, you had to do a shoot for me. We came into the house. I think it was for Fashion's Finest last year or something like that. And then Tosin just said, "Go and give me shirts, give me jackets, give me this, give me that." Me, I just brought like a suitcase. I just dumped it, brought it down. The next thing, you took this one, took that one, put it together. I said, Tosin, are you sure? Look at me, oh, this is me. By the time I finished, me, I have to be honest, I look like a G, man. Go and check out those. I had that hat, one of those, I can't remember what the name is they give that hat. Yes, I had one of those hats, had braces, put on jeans. Man, I was looking fly. I was looking really fly.
That's what fashion is. That's what fashion is. That's what style is. And that's what sustainable fashion is. You want a situation whereby you can wear a particular shirt in 3-4 ways. And by the time you wash them, like I said, quality. It is important. If you're going to spend that douche, ensure you're spending that money on quality garments. Yes, and I have people who do thrift buying, who buy vintage things. There's no crime in it. There is no sin. It doesn't mean you're cheap. I've seen denims in the market, Ayaba, that I see and I buy because I like them. I take them back, I wash them, and I style them in whatever way suits me. Not that I can't afford the Levi's and all of that, but even right now with the pandemic, like I said, priorities have changed. People are looking for more important things to put their money in. It's a retirement rehearsal. When retirement comes, are we sincerely ready for it? So this has changed our lives, has changed our priorities.
Okay. Me, I'm going to go and recycle some of my clothes. Me that I was giving them away
Chris,
now. Maybe I'll pull them
uncle,
back and recycle them.
uncle, ladies and gentlemen, if you have stuff from your dad's closet or from your mom's closet, this is the time for you to revamp it. This is the time, because right now style is literally everything. Style, there are no boundaries. There are literally no boundaries. And the good thing with Nigeria is, as much as there's an idea called, or there's a fad called trend, people just want to look good here. Nobody really cares about, oh, it's the puff sleeves that are in, it's the neon that are in. People don't dress according to, people just want to look good in Nigeria.
Yes.
They just want to look good. So that's not a barometer to say, oh, you have, because neon is not in now, you can't wear neon. People want to wear what they want to wear. So if you have pieces from your dad's closet, your grandpa's closet, your mom's closet, your grandma's closet, now is the time to play fashion.
Yeah.
On a
Let's
budget.
create our own fashion. So guys, don't go out there
On a
looking
budget.
for all your designer stuff. Create your own fashion. So, but let's look at these celebrities, because the list of your celebrity lineup like this, the people, guys, if you need to have a list of celebrities, steal Tosin's phone. If you steal his phone, you don't need to look for people's numbers. Every celebrity in this Nigeria and in Africa,
Oh, please don't
he has
cast
them.
me.
He has them. So if you want to get numbers, don't look, just steal his phone. So looking at all these different celebrities that you have worked with, you start a lot of celebrities. They
Yes,
look
sir.
amazing. They look gorgeous. They look beautiful. You see them on the red carpet. You can see
Thank
your
you, sir.
signature look. So what tips, what advice can you give to the regular person like me, to the people that are listening and watching this now? Yeah. To what do we have to think about when we dress up? You know, how would I put it now? I can't afford a designer outfit like a Maya Taffy, and a lot of people cannot afford clothes from a Diola Sego or a Lanre da Silva, but in a different way. So let's now look at, okay, we're no longer looking at being thrifty. We're not looking at doing the small change. I was lucky. I was able to steal an invite to AMPCA. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not anybody. I stole invite. They gave me. But I want to, at least when I walk in, they're not going to say, please remove this raggedy looking man or woman from here. How do we still look that red carpet person with that small money?
So there's something I strongly believe in, and my mother taught me that you can have a lot of money, you can be very wealthy and not have taste.
True. Very
Taste
true.
level is very important. Taste level is very important. Understanding your frame, which is your body, understanding your personality, understanding the events. Those are three things you need to take note of. If you're not an over glamorous person, keep it minimal, but keep it classy. Ensure that whatever accessories you're using, I mean, I can literally put someone in a slip dress and ensure that she's beaming with crystals. Something as simple as a slip dress.
Mm-hmm.
It is taste level. Also, if you can't afford the high-end names, so I realized that what Zara does is this. Zara will wait for the shows to happen. And because it takes 6 months for the designers to churn out a new collection into the stores, Zara will wait for them. Once the collection is out, Zara goes to produce. So there's a cheaper version. You can
Right.
shop on affordable websites. And if you don't want to shop on affordable website where you're waiting for them to ship in and all of that, there are young designers. There are designers that are affordable and are very talented. If there's one thing I've seen in Lagos, in Nigeria, is that we have young talents that will blow your minds away on a budget. On a budget. So if you can't afford the high-end names, look for the young designers that you know that their tailoring skills are very on check, their creativity, because that's also important. A lot of times the client doesn't know what they want. You need to be able to show them that this will look good on you. So if you can't afford the high-end names, if you can't afford, say, the Gucci, the Diola Sego, the Lanre da Silva, the Odiomi Monet, the Adrian Mustafiris, the Mofas, and all of that, you can get younger design. You can find designers that fit into whatever budget that you have.
Okay. People, are you hearing this? There's a way and a style to do this thing. If you don't know, go and meet Tosin. Give him my name. He will maybe will give you discount.
Of
But even
course.
then, I'm not sure.
Of
He'll gotta give you discount. You know. So we have a question here from the third son of March. Yes. So, and he says, your fashion sense is unimaginable and extremely amazing. And I second that because it's true. When I see your pictures on IG, when I need to brighten up my life, I just go to your page. I look at your style and say, one
oh
day, God,
no.
I will look like this. So the question is, what's the inspiration behind this unimaginable styling?
Okay, so I'll take you through the process. A lot of times it's mostly about what's going on inside of me. It's mostly
Okay.
about my emotions and experience and wanting to perceive myself in a certain way. For most of the designers I work with, I tell them if my major theme is to always look like power, fashion power.
Mm-hmm.
So there are no restrictions. I sit down, I conceptualize what I want to look like. I hit whatever designer that I know fits into that mood board, and we exchange ideas. They come up with illustrations. We edit the looks. If there are things I don't like in terms of colors and all of that, I look for how to infuse them. I mean, we both work together. I go to the markets. I go to Tejo Show. I buy my fabrics
Mm-hmm.
and I send to them, and we create. But it's what a lot of people don't know, that it's always from the scratch. And when I'm doing that, I also try as much as possible to remember that if I'm creating museum-like pieces, I know why I'm creating
Right.
museum-like pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But I have it at the back of my mind that I want to rework this jacket again. I have to wear this jacket again. I have to be able to wear this pants again. I have to be able to wear this top again. That's what comes to my mind. Being able to pick different things and fuse it together.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Are you hearing? Okay, so we got another question here. Are you only working in the Nigerian fashion industry?
Okay, so I would say yes and I would say no, because I have clients that are outside the country. I've had clients coming to the country. I've had clients fly me out of the country, and
Mm-hmm.
bulk of my
Hey,
clients are here in the
so
country.
see, me, I want to be like you when I grow up. Oh, they're
Uncle
flying you
no
out of the country. When they fly you out
no.
of a country, you know you're a
Uncle
big boy.
now.
Big,
Uncle
big though,
now.
not with
Uncle.
BIG. Add a Z to it. Hey,
Uncle now.
continue, please.
So,
Put me in your suitcase next time, I beg.
Uncle boy, we know next by the time the pandemic is over, you're out of the country. We know that.
See
We
yourself. Thank you. Be
know.
watching me there. Continue. Anyway, ask the
Okay, so
person's question.
bulk of my clients are here in the country. But what I really try to do is give them an experience of what happens outside the country. So if you check out their campaigns or how their lookbooks are styled or when their collections come out, because there is no way you can take a stylist completely out. The stylist is the designer's third eye. So a designer designs about 50 pieces for their show. The stylist comes in and says, "This it looks like an add-on. Can we take it out?"
Right.
It's the stylist that really does a lot of the work, just to ensure that the designer's vision and the designer's story is properly told. And it's not, because a lot of times designers get overwhelmed and they just keep adding and adding and adding and adding. Your stylist is your third eye. Even with celebrity styling, it's the stylist that will tell you, "I think this is too much. Let's take this out. Let's add this to it. Let's remove this." So you can't necessarily shut out the stylist completely. So bulk of my
Right.
clients are here, but I give them an international experience.
Are you hearing? That's how it works. Mr. J. Couture says, "Can one still part of so can one still be part of your current WhatsApp masterclass? What's the price? You don't need to say that online. Then Uncle Shola, beg for a free spot for me. I'll be a good boy. I'm a designer from Ibadan. Ah, see your fellow constitutional in
Ah,
Omo Ibadan.
Oshere!
So that's Mr. J
Those
Couture.
are my
Mr. J
people.
Couture, send him a DM, okay, after it, and then I'm sure either Tosin or one of his team will get back to you. Tosin, speaking of young talent, do you
Yes, sir.
think the fashion industry in Africa, Nigeria and Africa, is good to young talent in terms of mentoring such people?
I would say yes, and I would say no. I would say yes because they provide them with a platform, and then after the platform, you leave them hanging. And it's after the platform they really need you to hold their hands and walk them through. And I would say no because getting such platforms is always really hard. Say for instance, now you have LVMH, who would after once they find a winner, they invest. They
So some
invest
people won't know
thoroughly.
what LBMH is. Can you just
Okay,
let
so
them know?
LVMH is Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy, and they own brands like Marc Jacobs, Louis Vuitton itself, and a couple of I think they also own brands like Celine. And I mean, they have younger brands under them, and they invest in such brands. Thomas Tate and the likes of them. They invest in such brands and literally just help them through the business of it. Now, back to young designers here. Designers here, I mean, there's a platform from, and I'm not trying to even just speak about this, from Fashion's Finest alone. I know the number of young designers I meet who have a very unique sense of designing. Their approach to fashion is completely different. For some, you see the potentials in them, and all they just need is that hand to hold them and guide them through. But the good part is they've given you that platform. They've given you that platform to shine, which is always very hard to come by. So when brands that put shows together give you that platform, you make the best of it. If you find people that you find out that they're the ones in charge, you reach out to them, you talk to them. Uncle, there are brilliant talents here. My God. My God.
No, there are.
Ah, Uncle.
So third son of Mark says, this is a bit of a personal question, but he still asks it all the same. He says, you're a welcome, recognized stylist in the Nigerian fashion world, if not the best. Hey, they drop compliments on your head like this, so Tosin. Anyway, Sha, it says, how are you keeping your game consistent?
So, consistency is really what keeps you going. It's what keeps you ahead of competition. As much as we like to say, oh, we're not competing with anybody, we're just in our lane. It's a business. It's competition. That's why Coca-Cola will tell you there's Coca-Cola Plus, and then 2 days later, Pepsi will tell you there's Pepsi times 3. It's a competition. Consistency just helps keep you in the game. And how do I do that? I try as much as possible. If it's my personal work, I try as much as possible to tell my own stories, how I feel, what I feel. I also do a lot of reading. I do a lot of reading. I also go through
Knowledge is power.
I mean, there are a couple of stylists that I love. I love Grace Coddington. I love what's her name? Carlin Seth. I love Karen Rotfield. I love Edward Enning. I mean, these are people that I go through their work and I try to get inspiration from it. And there are also designers that I love. I love a lot of Asian designers, Yuji Yamamoto and the likes of them. And I try as much as possible to get into their headspace by reading. Because in a way, it helps telling your own stories. You can draw inspiration from them, and telling your own stories is just easier. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be fashion. You can get stories from politics. You can get stories from movies. You need to be very consistent in your craft. That's what it keeps you ahead of your game.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Olukayode, you asked a question, but I don't know what the question is. Why? I've not seen what his question is. Can Olukayode please retype your question so I can see what it is? So let's just go back to one of my questions. Okay, so post-COVID-19,
yes,
what should regular shoppers be looking out for in the fashion space?
functional clothing. Functional clothing.
So where would you go for functional clothing? Where would you go? Is it your local tailor? Would you take a design off line and go and give it to him and say copy? How does it
Okay,
work?
okay, so my mind, not like my, I'm very certain that once this is over, there will be a lot of hot sales. A lot of hot sales will be happening. A lot of hot
Mm.
sales will be happening. If you can't afford hot sales, please, thrift buying is not a crime. It is not a sin not to be able to afford luxury. Thrift buying is not a crime. So if that is what your pocket, if that's where your pocket can take you to, please go there and invest in things you know you can rework and you can restyle